Okay, y'all, I had to take a few minutes and yeah, that's a sensitive topic. When I get into it, I really want to get into it because that's one of them topics that we just don't talk about. But it's in this jar for a reason. So I put it back in there. Let's pull something else. Hopefully, the universe be a little bit more kind on it because that one right there is a stinger. Girl, if I pull it again, throw the jar away. Okay. Ah, okay. Path disruptions. Path disruptions. Now, what do I mean by path disruptions? We know what a path is. We know what a disruption is. For me, when I wrote this and I was thinking about my path disruptions, and actually I was thinking about this yesterday when I was taking a bath. I said, for me, this topic is this topic helps me to release ideas or the idea of something, and also like a fantasy of something, and then also like making understanding that it wasn't wrong for me to have that idea, but it's more important to deal with the reality of the situation. So for me, a big question or a big conversation I often have with the universe or my creators is, who would I be minus the trauma? Who would I be minus the distractions? Who would I be minus abusive situations? Where would I be minus those things? What would I be doing minus those things? But then I always circle back around to like, excuse me, those things are what make me, but on a fundamental level, just on a fundamental level, I often imagine or try to imagine or find that, ooh, my nose been itching lately. What some people say that means something, but whatever it means, it's been meaning a lot for me lately. It don't always happen with my nose itching, but I keep saying, but I don't like that either. I'm gonna work on that. So, what I was saying, on a fundamental level, like, what if I didn't have to? What if I was raised in a way that wasn't dysfunctional, wasn't traumatic, wasn't abusive, what didn't require me to break demolitionize, I don't know if that's a word or not, but to demolish everything that was taught to me, everything that was projected towards me, everything that I had internalized, to start over brick by brick. Not even that, like for example, a tree, even like my little tree right here, a full grown plant. But then if my plant, like, I think I overwatered this plant. I think it's a girl too. I believe I was overwatering her. But I know, I'm aware of what I was doing. So I was like, okay, let this water dry up. Let her dry up without causing any further harm. And then let me watch her, let me nurture her, let me see what's going on, because some of her leaves are dry, some of them are green, some are pretty. But then I'm like, I think I overwatered her. And that's just my instinct. I haven't Googled it or nothing like that. I plan to do that too, but just instinctually, I'm like, I think I've overwatered her. Now, what I've had to do in my life several times, I've had to uproot. It wasn't enough just to cut the tree down. It wasn't enough to let me watch it. That wasn't enough. I had to dig down deep into the roots. I had to test the soil, make sure it wasn't poisonous and tainted before I replanted myself. I had to pull up the roots and make sure it wasn't no insect infestation. And this is all metaphorically. Catch my drift. Make sure, my roots wasn't intertwined with someone else's roots that was toxic. I've had to do that like several times. And I often ask myself, what if I have never had to have done that? What if I was actually nurtured as this tree, as I try to nurture this tree instinctually, not just, I don't know what's wrong with it. I ain't gonna worry about it. It's a plan. It'll be all right. Regardless of the fact, my reality is that I've had to several times. My reality is that every time I've learned something else about myself, and I learned how to be, a master gardener. I have an extremely green thumb at this point, to where now I even have the capacity to nurture my own garden. I would say my children, as they grow and become the people they're going to become. But often for me, I've always felt I had a path. I didn't ever feel normal. I didn't ever feel like I was gonna do what everybody else in my family was going to do. Even though those things were already planned and laid out for me, which is another thing. Like, how do you bring forth the future, your child, and then make plans for the future, your child, but do very minimal to actually nurture that future, your child. But then you still expect for them to become what you planned for them. But minimal tools, minimal teaching, lots of judgment, lots of criticism, minimal mentorship, little to none. But you still had an expectation that you thought they were just gonna reach, but how? Just because that's what you wanted? So all that to say is that was a path disruption for me, that got in the way of what I was put here for. Now, that's not clear and cut. I have a purpose-driven life, and that doesn't even look one way. But I know it doesn't look the way what other people wanted it to look. And that's the box I was put in. So instead of people showing interest in what I had to offer the world and who I am naturally, my hobbies, my passions, my curiosities, my inquiries, those things were ignored, teased, mocked, hushed away, and said, no, you're going to do this way, because I told you so. With very little guidance on it. Just get out there and do it and figure it out, because you should know. Even though it's not even the path that I already, what I do know is that that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So forced into this, forced into that, forced into this, but then my soul is knowing these are not the right avenues for me, so I'm not successful at it. It's not what I'm supposed to be doing. So, with all that being said, throughout all the disruptions, all the distractions, all the this and that and this and that and this and that, I have still found my way back to my path. But I often think, what if I just was able to walk my path, or my path be nurtured for me, and giving me the chance to carve out my path without fear and judgments and projections and expectations, from the beginning? Or are all the disruptions a part of my path? That makes sense. Now, this might be a little far out for y'all, but it's okay. And this also comes with, I know, a lot of physical things that come with age and this and that. I get it. However, I'm starting to get moles, more moles. But, excuse me, they're not like really big dark moles or anything like that, but like I notice like, more moles coming, and I'd be like, oh wow. So for some reason, my moles remind me of the stars, like a constellation. And because I resonate so much with the stars, and when I go outside at night, I look up at the sky when the weather permits, and I'm just out there, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm talking to my family. And, I start speaking, they twinkle back and all this, that, and I'm like, feel a sense of comfort of, I'm doing the right thing. I'm finally, where I need to be, and it feels good. And sometimes, like, I look at my moles, and it reminds me too, like, because like the way they're like kind of, it's not a lot of them, but the way they're kind of like, I can't really show my arm, but the way they're kind of like positioned on me, it reminds me of like a constellation. I don't know which one, but maybe I could draw them and like connect the dots. But it's just a little side note. And then also, with that being said, path disruptions, I have to also take accountability for the times I disrupted my own path, got off path because I wanted to fit in. I wanted to have friends. I wanted to feel like I was living a normal life and everything was great. And, I veer off and I try to be unseen or try to be normal, and it would never work. I'd reach a point and I'd fall apart, and it would look like I was having a mental breakdown. And to some degree I was, like from the outside looking in, that's how it would look. Because the normal people are like, oh, she's doing good because I'm doing normal stuff. But on the inside, I'm like dying inside, frying inside. And then once I broke and couldn't take it no more, it would appear from the outside looking in, oh, she's crazy, she having some type of mental breakdown. Yes and no. I'm like very aware of what's going on inside of me, and very aware of why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just that I would get to a point where I was so far off my path, the only way I could get back on it was to break down again, if that makes sense. So, to wrap this on up, stay true to yourself. Stay true to your path. And you don't even have to know where it's going. All you need to know is that it feels good. It's within a good moral standing. It's within righteousness. Um, it is anchored and compassed by love. You know what I'm saying? It is is not a judgment. It is not a criticism. It is not a prejudice. It is not an evil. It is not a jealousy. It is not I'm trying to be this or I'm trying to be that. It is you. Whatever, that's your path, being you. And wherever that leads you. So it might not lead you to a corporate job. It might not lead you to a shopping sprees every weekend. It might not lead you to a fancy car. It might not lead you to a big old house. A lot of things I think people are also starting to see that ain't it either. Like the people waking up. So your path is your truth. Your path is your happiness. Your path is your peace. You know, and any disruption to that, any distraction to that is not allowed or tolerated. You know, you do what you need to do to take care of yourself, to take care, if you have a family, take care of your family. And within that is healthy boundaries. Within that is you have your peace. Within that is you have your moments to self. Within that is you have your self-care routine. Within that is you have, you know, your good meals, balanced meals. It's just encompassing of everything. It's like a cruise ship when they say it's all inclusive. It's all inclusive. Your path is all inclusive to you and your truth and your peace, anchored and compassed by love. If that makes sense. It's nothing else. It's not. You may have passions. You may have things you love to do. You may have hobbies that one day you may want to turn into a business. However it looks for you. It's whatever you want. It's your time. It's your time as a spiritual being having a human experience. You know, for me, because I feel so foreign in this human body. I ain't gonna lie, I do. Some days I wake up, I look, and I'm like, I'm for real. I'm for real. I'll be like, what is this? Because I'm so much, it feels too tight sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm so big. I'm only in this suit 5'2". You know, I'm about 8'2". But I have to remember to enjoy being human. You know, like this is an experience. And I don't want to spend my whole experience in a low vibrational state, you know, weighted down by trauma, weighted down by anxiety, weighted down by fear, weighted down by my past, weighted down by things that don't even matter today in the here and now. You know, every day I get up and really can make a new path, you know, just like that at the drop of a dime. Oh, we going this way today, you know. It gotta make sense though, but you know what I'm saying. So that balance, you know, a lot of people they exist so deep within the human ego that I don't know if they're totally disconnected from their spirit or not. I don't know. They don't have a high vibration. I'll say that. But I'm not here to judge all that. All I'm saying is like they're on the other end of me, you know, just extra human. Where me, I'm very much aware of my spiritual nature and knowing that I'm having an experience, and it's, you know, I tend to want to stay in the spiritual side because that is actually where I feel safe. because being human hasn't been so safe for me. So I feel safe in my spiritual side. But I have to also remember to have that balance. So for me, it's very important that I get out in nature as much as possible, get my vitamin D as much as possible. But also, have create great human moments and experiences. So I kind of talked a little bit longer than I thought I was. So I hope y'all understood my message today. Path disruptions. A path disruption is anything that disturbs your peace. And your path is whatever you want it to be, as long as it's your truth through love and high moral standards.